walk into the kitchen and get a nice glass of water. You probably carry a water bottle around everywhere you go, and when it gets empty, you go fill it up at the water fountain. And when you forget the water bottle somewhere, you feel like a piece of you is missing. Imagine having to walk miles to get to a water source, and that water is contaminated. Imagine not having the access to water at the tip of your fingers. And that's what the majority of people around the world, that's how they live today. Some of the sources I use for this speech are lifewater.org and thewaterproject.org to inform you more about the international water crisis. My name is Jennifer Hocke, and I'm going to tell you about Lifewater International, and the three main points I'm going to speak about are the international water crisis, Lifewater's mission and how they got started, and some of their projects that they've completed and are currently working on. Worldwide, 1 out of every 5 deaths of children under the age of 5 are due to water-related diseases. And so water is a necessity. We can't survive without water, but so many people are dying because of the lack of access to it and the lack of clean water to it. Thewaterproject.org says that 1 in 8 people worldwide do not have access to safe and clean drinking water. And more than 1,800 children die from waterborne disease, which is preventable if they just had clean water. So many of these children would not be dying. So it's possible for them to have clean water. And clean water can lead to improvements in health, education, hunger, and poverty. In education, children would have so much more time in their day if they didn't have to walk to the river or whatever water source they have for that day. Instead of walking, if they had an installed well in their community by their school, they wouldn't have to spend hours walking back and forth to get water. They could spend those hours in school getting a proper education, and getting a proper education would lead to a break in poverty. And then also, many schools don't have clean bathrooms, and many girls quit going to school once they reach puberty because of how unclean the bathrooms are. And schools can't really facilitate if there's unclean bathrooms. It's just not, it just doesn't happen. And so Lifewater is a nonprofit Christian water development organization dedicated to effectively and sustainably serving the world's rural poor through integrated water, sanitation, and hygiene programs. Their goal is to provide people with self-sustaining long-term effects rather than just provide them with a temporary relief. So the founder, Bill Ash, went to an orphanage in Mexico in 1962 and helped the people there with water development, and he fixed their pumps there. And so since then, by being there, he really had a passion for helping people to receive clean water, and just really wanted to continue doing that and continue helping more people get clean water. And so he, in faith and obedience, he moved his family to Baja California, Mexico. And then in 1977 began the organization Lifewater. Throughout the next years, he gained many partners who had the same mission, and he wanted to help others with that. And many people began training and learning how to install pumps and build pumps and just repair them, so then they could go out into the world and do that mission. They not only want to go to a community, install a water pump, and leave. They want to really invest in the community and see it develop. So they came up with, or they developed an evangelical strategy and curriculum called MWASH, which is missional, water access, sanitation, and hygiene. And they just really want to give the communities more than just water. They want to give them the gospel and show them all that God has for them. And they just are really passionate about showing them the love that God has for them as well. They also train the locals they train the locals with the skills and the equipment needed for repairs of the pumps, and because the Lifewater people will leave and on to their next project eventually, and so if anything ever goes wrong, the locals there will know how to fix it because they train them how to. So far, Lifewater has reached 2.3 million lives throughout Africa, South America, and Asia. One of their projects that they have completed is in Oromia, Ethiopia from 2009 to 2012. And in that village, before Lifewater got there, they had to walk miles to get to the river, and that was the same river that they bathed in, and they washed their clothes in, and they washed their animals in, so it was very unclean. And they had results from the unclean water caused an outbreak in the disease cholera, and they went to the government for help, to ask for help to get clean water, but the government wouldn't help them. So they were just in desperate need of clean water, and so Lifewater found them and has built and repaired 78 wells, capped 40 springs, built 15,000 latrines, 118 water committees were formed, 19 hygiene clubs were formed, and 44 local repair teams formed. And so they really left a mark on these people and changed their lives and just helping them prosper and get out of poverty. One of their current projects is in Agali sub-county, northern Uganda. Their goal is to increase safe water access, sanitation, and hygiene. They've built many wells so far and rain catchment tanks, and also water pumps and just all of that. And they've trained many health committees and teachers and religious leaders. And they have educated over 5,000 people with the MWASH strategy that they use. It's a really evangelical strategy, and they use a lot of discipleship in that as well. And have educated many people on biblical principles. So far, they have completed 51 projects around the world and are currently working on 6. So in conclusion, the water crisis is real, and many people around the world need help. And Lifewater is there to bring the people water and also the gospel, and are doing a great job at it. So Lifewater, providing water, health,